Okay folks, today we are taking a look at Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Deluxe Class Starscream. And you know, I need to apologize to Hasbro, because in my Beast Hunters preview video from a couple of weeks ago, I said that this figure was probably going to suck. I really couldn't have been more wrong. This is actually quite an awesome figure. Now, that being said, I do have an issue with the paint scheme. The lavender in the arms and legs, while I understand that that's what they went with, I don't think totally fits the tone of the figure. With the brown and silver and gold and the little bit of red, it doesn't completely work. But that being said, it's not horrible. It just looks a little bit out of place. So I wanted to show you guys something here real quick. As you can see in the picture here, there's no lavender on Starscream in this picture. In fact, his arms are brown, and he's got more gold, or specifically his knee spikes are gold. They're silver or gray plastic here. Even the feet are different colors. I mean, we've got black feet here and what appears to be light grayish feet. That just might be due to Photoshop. But this is another case of, hey, we went ahead with the prototype for the back of the box as opposed to what we ended up with. So, Starscream's gimmick, or not so much gimmick as I would say weapon, is this thing. This is weird. I'm not going to lie. This is a very weird and large gimmick to give a figure. Now, first off, these missiles do attach to Starscream. I'll show you those in a second, but I dig the missiles because they look like little submarines. I mean, look at that. They look like little submarines from the 60s or the 70s, from like James Bond, or those flying shark things from the VR Troopers TV show. They're just so cool. Okay, so enough of me gasming over silly little accessories. This thing is actually interesting if you stop and think about it, because, well, first, its gimmick is kind of dumb. I'm not going to lie. Grabby. So it grabs you, and then it has a saw blade in the front that doesn't actually work. Okay. The thing that I'm interested, though, is I started thinking about what is this? It's a drone. Think about that. This is a flying drone for Starscream. So here are the air intakes. Here's the thruster. Here are the wings. The pincers could double as wings. It's a drone. He has his own drone. A stupid drone, but a drone nonetheless. I think that's pretty cool. That actually makes a lick of sense. It's still very, very odd, though. As you can see, Starscream's missiles can either be stored on the back, on his wing, or you could just put them on his forearms, just like his TV counterpart does with the normal missiles. Now, I was trying to figure out, okay, you've got them deployed like that. Can you maybe put them on his under forearm? No, unfortunately not. There's nowhere for it to peg into place. I normally prefer, if I'm going to display this, I will either put the missiles on the wings or leave them off and just leave them connected to his drone. So they peg into the drone very easily right on top like this. So that makes sense. Now, the drone itself can be stored on his back like that. It does affect his range of movement a little bit. It does make him top heavy, but his feet are nice and wide and posable enough so that you can have him perfectly balanced-ish. Oh, there we go. Overall, the look of Starscream is very interesting. You went from that sleek, menacing hunchback look of normal Starscream to this kind of Starscream combined with a pterodon look. And I actually like this. He looks more menacing this way than he did before. It's weird. I'm not going to lie. It is weird. Now, if you turn him to the side, you do get quite a bit of a gap there. That I don't like. To solve that, you could take the chest and kind of fold it up a bit, and then you get, it looks like he's got a turtleneck on. So you really don't have much of an option. Just look at him straighter. You know, if you got him turned to the side, just not all the way to the side. Or the other thing you could do is take his head and fold it even farther forward so he really looks like the Hunchback of Iacon. Either way, it's a little odd. Posability for this guy is pretty darn good, but it is a little bit on the standard side. The wings are a little bit posable, so you've got in and out movement. This antenna thing at the top is posable. I don't really know what the antenna's for. The head, as you saw, is on a ball joint and a hinge. Arms, ball joint in the shoulder, ball joint at the elbow, swivel joint at the wrist, ball joint at the hip, hinge joint, ratchet joint, plastic ratchet joint at the knees, and then a hinge joint at the feet. Though, when I first took the figure out of the box, out of the container packaging, these pins on his ankles were much, much tighter than they are now, so they have loosened up significantly since I've been playing with him. That is a little bit of a problem, but they're still strong enough to hold him in pretty much any pose. So this figure is a brand new mold with a brand new transformation. There is very little in common with the original Deluxe Class First Edition Starscream, other than his semblance to a Valkyrie. And by Valkyrie, I mean a Robotech plane. It's very, very strange, this one, because he is very similar to some Robotech toys I've had in the past. To start off with, we're just going to grab the body, grab the back of the body, and pull the entire rear and arms off, and then flip out the back and extend the back like this. When we do that, we're going to go ahead and rotate the wings around like that. So then next thing we're going to do is take the head and fold it, push it flush up against the body, and fold the entirety of the backpack up against the head. Take his chest and fold the chest up over his head until it kind of snaps into place. Then we can flatten out the rear of the plane and fold the arms up underneath the fuselage. Now, it's important to note that we just want to get these up underneath and have the pegs on the forearms pointing down from the rest of the body. And that is important later, and you'll see why. So then we can, once we do that, we can collapse that. And then this is where I was talking about. These pegs on the backs of, or in the underarms, will actually peg into little peg holes. So just get that pegged up, get that pegged up. So we've got them up like that, and then the antenna can go down. For the legs, what we're going to do is first take his knee spurs and fold them up, collapse the feet and ankles, and then take the entire leg section and fold that up along the body. And there are these little fins on the back of the legs, back of the shins. They will actually peg into the arms. So we'll turn the legs, the lower legs, fold them back, and peg them into the arms. And also on the very, right by the heels are molded wheels. Fold those up. And then in the front of the vehicle, you can fold down a landing gear. So that, and last but not least, fold the wings in, and they are supposed to peg into these little black pegs. But the plastic is such on those pegs that it's just too soft. It doesn't want to peg in. So there we have the vehicle mode. And I gotta admit, I like the plane mode. I really like the plane mode once I have it in person. The lavender is a little much, but overall, the plane mode is really nice. I like the colors and I like the overall look of it. It works. Now, let's add some missiles to the figure. So the missiles will peg underneath the wings. I kind of get why the missiles are this purple lavender color, because you can distinguish them from the rest of the body. The missiles are even better. Now let's add the drone. The drone will actually peg in to these spurs that are coming off the arms. So just line that up, peg it down, and there we go. Now, I will freely admit having this thing hanging off the bottom of a plane is stupid and very silly. But I get why they did it. There's nowhere else they can store it. And I'm glad you could store it in vehicle mode like that. Overall, plane mode's pretty strong. I dig the plane mode. I like the fact that they have what I'm considering a drone. That's very nice. But the plane mode itself is cool. It is very thin, though, which is accurate for a plane. That I'm not going to complain about. Oh, I just made a really bad pun. So Starscream has won me over. Yep. I honestly didn't expect it. Honest to goodness, I did not expect to be won over by this guy. Oh, and there's a swivel there. Sorry, forgot about that. I fully expected to hate this thing. Really, seriously, I did. I know it doesn't sound like I did, but I really expected to hate this thing. And I don't. At all. In fact, if you don't have a Starscream figure, I would recommend picking this one up if you can get it. I got it off BBTS, and it was, as of the time of this recording, it is available for purchase. And you can purchase all 4 of the Deluxe Class Beast Hunters characters or figures right now. Those are also in stock. So the links are down there in the description. So overall, I dig this figure. I really like it. I really like it. It's a lot of fun. It's different. It's interesting. Transformation is something I feel like I've seen before, but I'm okay with that because this figure is just cool. Now, what I really want to see is I want to see some customizers repaint this guy. I want to see this guy repainted in some crazy repaint schemes. Like, I don't know, maybe this would make an interesting Thrust figure. I think it would make an interesting Dirge. Ooh, Acid Storm. That would be a cool figure. Where, even better, Sunstorm, where most of him is orange except for their flame motifs on his wings here instead of silver. That would be cool. You could have a lot of fun with this guy. So, guys, I recommend picking this one up. I had a lot of fun with it. Some folks are calling it the weakest of the 4. I can understand why they would say that, but I dig it. I think it's a lot of fun and well worth your money.